Big corporations employ a lot of people. That means a lot of jobs, of course. But when you get a lot of people in one place, there's always the chance that something illegal might happen. I mean, let's face it, the more people work together, the more crimes there'll be. From tiny little ones to big and serious crimes. Today we're talking about detective-level riddles and puzzles. Let's see if you can help these companies solve these master-level riddles and catch all the criminals. A director decided to reward his best employees, and also to fire the worst. He made a list, and of course he didn't show it to anyone. He left the list on his private desk, so as not to forget this important task. Then he went home for the night. The next morning, the list had disappeared. The director questioned everyone who was in the office. The cleaner said, "I washed the floor and didn't touch anything on your table." Brian, the IT specialist, he said, "I didn't need to steal the list. I wouldn't have been fired. I was in the office typing up the weekly report." Then there was Richie, the designer. He said, "It's so embarrassing. I went into your office thinking it was mine. Still, I immediately left when I realized my mistake." Who's a liar? You have 10 seconds to find the first criminal. The answer? Obviously, Brian is lying. He couldn't have known what kind of document was missing. Plus, it looks like he read the list. I'm pretty sure he's on that list now, though. Mr. Smith's office was robbed while he was on his lunch break. The police knew that only 3 people were in the office. The rest were at lunch. There was Mr. Smith's assistant, there was a janitor, and there was a postman. The police questioned all the suspects. The postman said, "I brought the magazines Mr. Smith ordered. I put them on the table in his office." The janitor said, "I was watching football on my phone and I didn't see anything." Mr. Smith's assistant said, "At Mr. Smith's request, I watered the flowers in his study when he was out." The police immediately realized someone was lying. Who? I'll give you 12 seconds to spot the liar. The answer? It was the assistant. Check it out, there are no flowers in the office. Several employees in a small office were found unconscious. A detective arrived and he questioned the remaining staff. Joanna, the manager, said, "I had the day off, but still, I came in for a few minutes, to grab some documents." Then there was Jerry, an accountant. He said, "The office was being sprayed for rats. That's why everyone got 3 days off. Today's the first day of our mini holiday." Jessica, the receptionist, said, "I usually go into work at noon. I got a call from Joanna and I rushed into work. It's terrible what happened." So, what happened? Think carefully. You've got 12 seconds to come up with an answer. The answer? It was the first day of the rat spraying. So the poison was still in the air. The employees must have breathed it in. When a bank director came into his office, he found his safe busted and wide open. There was a note inside. "If you call the police, You only have yourself to blame. The director was furious. He asked the police to question his sworn enemy, Jack. The police officer tracked him down. He said, "Jack, did you write this?" Jack answered, "My arm's broken. Anyway, between you and me, I haven't done anything illegal for a long time." The policeman left Jack's apartment and decided to have lunch at the cafe across the street. After lunch, he saw Jack leaving his house. The policeman rushed over and arrested him immediately. Why? Your 12 seconds starts now. The answer? Look at Jack's arms. Jack's right hand was in a sling when the cops questioned him, but leaving the house, he had his left hand in a sling. Mr. Samuel was in a really bad mood. His company was going through some really hard financial times. He decided he had to fire one of his employees. Mr. Samuel called his worst employee into his study and told him the bad news. But the employee answered, "My wife had a baby a week ago, come on. She isn't going back to work for a while, and we just bought a new house. You can't fire me." Mr. Samuel felt really bad for his employee, and he decided to fire someone else instead. I mean, that new father really needed this job. Mr. Samuel went to tell him the good news. But when Mr. Samuel looked at the employee's desk, he realized that he had lied to him. What did the employee lie about? Look carefully and find the evidence. You only have 12 seconds. The answer? The employee said that he had just bought a new house. But that was a lie. Congratulations, you solved all the riddles so skillfully. Hey, here's a question. Would you rather work in an office or work from home? Or how about not work at all? Tell me in the comments.